Hello everybody, this is Daniel Buchanan from Takeover Gaming, and I'm here with you with my 13th place deck list from the ARG Indy. This is Red Green Pan. It was an amazing event, played a lot of Janemba, which is good because this is honestly my best matchup. So I wanted to get right into that. Alright, so obviously leader is Pan. Pan's always been a decent red leader. Always kind of see people playing it, trying to improve it. I kind of think this might be the best version of the deck, not like the main deck, but I think red-green might be where this deck needs to go for the future, especially if set 7 has even better red-green cards that she can abuse. And then with the trunks coming out of the anniversary box, it's going to be good. Alright, so 2-rogue Duo Videl. It's just searchable off of Yamcha. I would be playing Go on the Avenger because it's even more searchable, and while it's a 2-drop negate, it does a little bit more than the Videl. Also draws you a card for the Pan, and can be aggro, which could really help in the Janemba matchup. It did really help at one moment because I was playing against a Kidku, and he dropped Demigra, and the Videl negated the Demigra, and then I basically won the next turn when he stole 4 cards, because Pan can easily bring those 4 cards back because of all the drawing this deck can do. 4 attention power trunks, it's standard, really good against Janemba. Really took advantage of the 20k crit whenever my Janemba matchups would charge and then play a Psyche or one blue-yellow Janemba matchup. They charge a blue-yellow first turn. I abused that with the intensifying power trunks being a 20, so they didn't have any way to actually stop it. So like that good early crit damage can be really cool. Plus, you need the self-awakening. Victory Strike is out there. People won't do anything and drop the Victory Strike. That's a completely plausible strategy, so you need a way to get yourself to 4 so you can at least try to combat that. I will say the Victory Strike does kind of hurt this deck a lot because there's really not anything that can really stop it. But I did find out about something I could try out, so I'm going to try out that in a future event that I will hopefully do well for me. For everybody saw Yamcha, it was alright. I mean, obviously the extra searching is really cool, but I played a lot of Janemba today, so I really never played this because you don't really need the searching in Janemba. This might get replaced by the new trunks in the anniversary box. I really don't know yet. I mean, like I said, it's good. It can search a lot of the deck, especially since I'm playing a lot of Saiyan Earthling with super combos and Saiyan Earthling, so it's really easy to keep getting searches off of this card. I think there's 3, 6, 10, 11, only like 14 cards this deck can, sorry, a little bit more than that. So it can search about 50% of the deck, which is pretty cool. I thought I like those odds. Plus 20k, 2-drop, it's pretty cool. Dignity Vegeta, it's always been good in this deck. It's always going to be good. 25 twice at Janemba is detrimental in that game. It honestly, it skyrockets that game for you if both 25s can go off, because when you're doing your 25 digging deep, they're usually at like 5 or 4, and if they go down to 3 because they can't get out of this digging deep because it's going to take so much resource out of it, that helps for your forcing hit that you're going to try to drop on the next turn, or your Gogeta during their turn and stuff. It really messes with them because they can try to out combo it, but then you just start swarming the board with double strikes the next turn, or they take it, go to 3, and then the forcing hit becomes more detrimental for them because when you take the cards out of their hand, they are now on a clock because they're at 3 and could possibly die at any moment, especially if you're not awakened. I never awakened against Janemba until like turn 4 or 5 because I wanted to make a forcing hit, then awaken, and then maximize my plays on that turn that I made that forcing hit to see if I could win the turn of forcing hit. Obviously, that's a decision making based on the hand that you see after the forcing hit. So it's all up to the game state at that point. 3 double shot Vegeta. I mean, it's always good. I didn't want to play 4. I didn't want to play a lot of 1Ks. 3 Fearless Pan was really good in Janemba. Didn't really play it in anything else. 3 Chain Attack. I don't really like the card right now. I would rather side it, but the side has to be there for other things, for other matchups, because you don't want to main something like Burst Attack go on, because that's situational. The Chain Attack is cool. It can come up with Digging Deep, but really, I don't like the card. It's just one of those necessary things you need to play because I am siding Zeno, and Zeno is really good. So, like, it's just one of those things you have to play. And it might get a little bit better when we have the the Anniversary Box Trunks, because the issue with Intensifying Power Trunks is that it's easy to kill, but the Anniversary Box Trunks is a little bit harder. You can save it, and then the Chain Attack can get you, could be more viable in that matchup. But obviously, again, that's all situational gameplay. I mean, I drop Chain Attack Trunks to drop like Fearless Pants and Digging Deeps. It just kind of depends on how that goes. 3 forcing hits, overperformed today. I played a lot of Janemba, and this card is fantastic against Janemba. I played 3 Janembas. I 2-1. The forcing hit was good in all those matchups. There was not a single time where forcing hit was. If I mulligan, if I got the forcing hit in my opening hand, I keep it in my hand because I don't want those notes, because that's such a good card in that matchup to help you win. I won without it on matchups, but you would prefer forcing hit. Forcing hit is amazing there. I did play one of the red-green Broly. Most of the time it was just energy, but my thought process on it is like, this is a good threatening card for when you do get your opponent to 3 with Digging Deep against Janemba. It's a good threatening card. They have to deal with it, but playing it, in theory it was fine, but playing it in practice it didn't live up to what I wanted it to be. I would probably take this out maybe for just a 4th forcing hit, or maybe play another card. There's other options I'm thinking of. I'm going to probably look into. I'm not entirely sure yet, though. That's going to take some testing. 4 of the red-green Gogeta. Love this card. It stole me so many game 1s, because when I play this deck, I don't charge a green until maybe turn 4. Because you want to keep charging red, because you want to do like everybody's Pal Yamcha and stuff like that. You want to keep at 2 red, so at turn 2 you're doing red anyway. Turn 3 it could be a little bit harder not to charge a green, but even when you charge a green, people still didn't know that I was playing the Gogeta for some reason, which I'm not entirely sure why I would. That's honestly the only reason why I'm playing green is because of the Gogeta. The Gogeta stole me so many game 1s. It was in a 1-drop 20k, 25k with Pan. It's too good. It becomes too good. On a game 3 against a Janemba, we were 5 minutes until game 3. We were 5 minutes till time, and we just went into game 3. We were in time on my turn 2. On his turn 1, I dropped 1 Gogeta. On my turn 2, I dropped a forcing hit, a 2nd Gogeta, and then I was ballisting the board for multiple turns, and I won in time. Both of us at 8 life. On turn 2, because I had these Gogetas. 1-drop 20Ks. They did so much. I'm not even lying. Like, this card, honestly, is one of my favorite cards in the deck. It's the reason why you play red green. I would always play this card in the future. MVP. 4 of Trunks Bridge of the Future. I do know that Tenacious Spirit Trunks can be played. I did have an issue with Tenacious Spirit Trunks. I don't really like playing the card because it takes 2 green to get stability, and I don't really like that. I like this card because when you have something like this card, you could search your deck for 90% of it, because the only cards that aren't searchable by this Trunks on this deck is obviously your after images, because they're extra cards, your Yamcha and your Videl and your forcing hit. Everything else in the deck is searchable. So your super combos you can grab, your time patrol Trunks you can grab, your Vegetas, your Gokus, your Fearless Pans, Digging Deeps, everything is able to grab. The Gogeta itself is able to be grabbed, and it really helps, because the issue with the Gogeta is that you neg, and the Pan helps you mitigate the neg by only using basically 2 cards instead of 3. But when you have something like the Trunks and the super combo, the Trunks get you a search, so you stay at the same amount of cards at hand. And then when you combo for the Gogeta, you can combo the Trunks, combo a super combo, play the Gogeta, and then you play the Gogeta for free without losing any cards for it. So that's really good, and that's what was my first thought on the Trunks. And again, you could play Tenacious Spirit Gohan. It might come up that that can be a 15k critical or 20k critical. I can't remember the boost it gets. But I just like the searching. I like how consistent the deck is, and honestly, that's why I went with my build as it is, because I love the consistency of this deck. It was really searchable. The only card in this deck that isn't searchable by in some form or mean is Forcing Hit, which is why in the Janemba matchup I always loved keeping in my opening hand, so I know I had it. But everything else you can almost see 90% of the time. Digging Deep, like Gogetas. I had multiple Gogetas in hand. I was never afraid of having no green, not enough cards. I always had cards. Even after a Demigra, I was still able to rejuvenate my board because it's the deck's so consistent. Like, you don't even lose cards. The next card I played was 3 of Super Saiyan God Goku Energy of the Gods. I actually don't own this card. My friend let me borrow them for the weekend, but it didn't really come up that much. The green really in this deck is really just for the Gogeta. The green can help in a Kid Cube matchup because the Vegeta, which I'll get to, really helps. And then like in a later turns, the Goku and Vegeta together can really start spamming the board against Kid Cube and really just shut them out of the game because they can't combo as much as they would love to. But yeah, no, I would still play it. I mean, it's still good. Draws you 2 on pan, so that's pretty cool. 3 of the Super Saiyan God Vegeta Energy of the Gods. Again, it wasn't really played that much because the green wasn't really played that much. It was just for Gogeta. It was good against Kid Cube because Kid Cube always gets their board to like 3 or 2 on turn like 2 to 3. So this Vegeta can get you to a 20k pop cards, draw a card, swing. It's decent. Searchable off the trunks as well. That's the biggest thing. Is like the green was consistent. I wouldn't think I changed the green count in this deck except for take out the Broly, I guess, if you want to count that as green, since it is green. 2 time control trunks. I play this over the Supreme Kai because of the fact that it's searchable off of both Yamcha and the Trunks Bridge of the Future. And I didn't mind that I don't get the power to my pan. It's fine getting the 5k to just time patrol and not getting a 5k to leader. You're still drawing 2 cards because time patrol still adds a card and your pan still draws you a card. But the 5k never really came up because you're already hitting with so many 20ks on the board. Like, you don't need that extra 20k to mitigate, to ruin a person's hand. So, yeah, I would keep time patrol. I wouldn't play Kai. It was a lot of times where the Trunks searched the time patrol and I could use the time patrol because the Trunks discarded a card, then I'd be at 3, and then I could abuse something like green Goku or green Vegeta, then play time patrol, and that's a little cool combo because the Vegeta and the Goku are sparking 3. You play those first, play time patrol. You now have 2 battle cards, and you've only paid 1 energy, and that's like the base of the deck. Everything sits on a low curve except for the forcing hit, which is basically your game ender in this deck. 4 support attacks on Goten. Played this over the Bulma because it's a Saiyan and an Earthling, so it's searchable by Yamcha and Trunks. That's the only reason. Pretty good. 4 After Image. Staple negate. I don't know how else I would describe that. It's really cool because since the Gogeta activates in the combo step, you could After Image yourself to 4, Awaken, untap your 2 energy, combo red and a green, then play the Gogeta in the combo step and do your play that way when they don't expect you to play the Gogeta. And the Jinba matchups I started realizing that like if I was at 5 cards in drop area, that I could always bring out the Gogeta no matter if I was at 5 or not, because I can just Awaken because of After Image. So I mean, that really helps. It gets a little bit more use because the Gogeta is such a threat. That's another thing. The Gogeta, I know I'm stressing about this card a lot, but it's so good. The Gogeta would make it to where nobody attacked with the battle cards. They only attacked with the leader. They would only attack with like small battle cards to where I wouldn't care. I could out combo them. They wouldn't want to over invest in a card comboing because I could just Gogeta and kill it. Anything 4 or less, which is good against Kid Cube and Janemba. So they would stop swinging with their battle cards altogether just because they're afraid of this Gogeta. And I think that's the best part about it, is you start limiting what they're doing because they have the threat that Gogeta is always there. And like, I like to think, if you're playing against this deck, you should always expect the Gogeta in hand because it's just... there's no reason why the Pan player wouldn't keep it in hand because it's so easy to bring out. Alright, well, that was the main deck. There isn't much I would change about it. Obviously, I would take out the Broly. Maybe change a little bit of ratios. I would have to look at it, look more into it and stuff. But let's get to the side deck. 2 burst decks on Gohan, never used it. 3 Zeno playing Gods, used it against a Veku ramp and 1 Kid Cube. The other Kid Cube I'd even sided in against. 3 Masculine Zone, used it once against Chilai, never got it. 2 times Show of Noah, never used it. 3 Tien MVP because Janemba was my most matchups today. Dimensional Man Shifu, never used it. So my tournament report was I beat a Veku Ramp 2-1. I lost to Chilai Victory Strike because I got Victory Strike 2 games in a row, turn 2 and 3. I mean, game 2 and 3. Then I beat a Janemba. I beat a Kid Q. I beat another Kid Q. I beat another Janemba. I lost to a Green Broly, and then I beat another Janemba. So I ended X2, and I got 13th place. So I didn't do as bad as I was hoping. I actually could have possibly gotten top 8 because both of my tiebreakers were in the top 8 tables, but they both lost in the last round. So my tiebreakers kind of got me to not be in top 8. But 13th place, still top 16. I'm still happy with how this deck did. Obviously, I'm going to make some changes, hopefully make it better. Changes for some of the meta. There's some things I learned. And yeah, I like the deck a lot. Shout out to Takeover Gaming. My team, Alejandro, Jose, Gerardo. You guys were supporting me the entire day. I'm glad I did you guys proud and redeemed myself for the Chicago celebrations. And I hope to bring more content to you guys for the future. Have a great day.